All right, today we're just going to drive around the city, hit some random places, some various movie locations. So it's a beautiful day. Let's see what we find. Does anybody remember the TV show Night Heat? Anyone? It was a Canadian police drama from the 80s, one of many productions shot here at the former Lakeshore Psychiatric Hospital in Etobicoke. It's now a campus of Humber College. Easily the best known productions shot here were the Police Academy movies. For the record, it was Police Academies 1, 3, and 4 that were shot here. The story goes that number 2 was shot in LA, partly because they wanted a gritty urban look to the movie, and Toronto was supposedly too clean. Nearby, also in Etobicoke, are 2 locations from Strange Brew. The first is the house where Bob and Doug live with their parents. Great trivia question. Bob and Doug's dad was played by Dave Thomas in a brief scene, but voiced by the great Mel Blanc. The other Strange Brew location here in the west end of the city was the short scene in front of what was supposed to be a courthouse, but was actually, at the time, the Etobicoke Board of Education building. You can catch a quick glimpse of the sign in front of the building. Now, I'm not an expert on architecture, but I do know that this style of building is called a Brutalist, or you would say it was in the Brutalist tradition, and it's a style that was very prevalent in the late 60s, early 70s. One of the features being that exposed concrete look. I always said it reminded me of cheesy 70s sci-fi. And it's a style of building you're likely to see all over Toronto. So why am I mentioning it? Why did it catch my eye? Because that building looks a lot like my high school. This is Stephenlicot Collegiate in Scarborough. This concrete bunker that I spent 4 years in, very much in the Brutalist tradition. And fun fact, I just discovered recently that Stephenlicot Collegiate was designed by a pretty famous Australian architect named John Andrews, who also designed the University of Toronto's Scarborough campus, and he was also one of the architects on the team that designed the CN Tower, which is pretty cool. For 32 years, this was the tallest freestanding structure in the world. It's always fun to visit, riding the elevator to the top or walking on that glass floor where you're looking down about 1,000 feet. It's appeared in many movies, was the setting for the climax of Michael Moore's Canadian Bacon, but its best appearance in a movie has to be 1982's High Point, where Christopher Plummer's character takes a header off the tower and where legendary stuntman Dar Robinson did the very first officially sanctioned parachute jump off the tower. For our final stop today, I'm here at the Distillery District, one of the rare instances of historic Toronto buildings not being torn down to build condominiums. This is the old Gooderham and Worts Distillery, a company that came to prominence 150 years ago during that interesting time in the evolution of the modern city when the alcohol was safer than the drinking water. And a lot of movies have been shot here. Undercover Brother, the remake of The Fly, Chicago, Cinderella Man, just to name a few. It was in the 1995 Tommy Boy with Chris Farley where the district became the fictional Callahan Auto Parts. Did a good job too. I didn't recognize this as being Toronto when I first watched it. Here's a still from the movie of Farley walking on what is now called Gristmill Lane. This is facing east, and I mention that because the first X-Men movie from 2000 was shot in Toronto, and the opening scene from that takes place in Auschwitz, and it was shot here at the Distillery District. Now this is my best guess, but that opening shot looks like it's facing west on Gristmill Lane. It's a narrow street in both. These two features kind of match up. I can't say it's a 100% match, but that's my best guess. Well, that's it for today's random tour of the city. The 6th and final episode of this series is coming soon. Until then, if you like this video, hit the like button, share the video, and subscribe to the channel. Until next time.